Okay, here's a number that doesn't make any sense at all. SpaceX, yeah, the Elon Musk rocket company, is now worth around $400 billion. That's bigger than Boeing and Lockheed Martin combined. That's bigger than Coca-Cola. And here's the part that really gets me. You can't even buy the stock. It's not on any exchange. So how does a private company that literally lights money on fire for a living end up worth more than companies that have been printing cash for 100 years? That is what we are figuring out today. Welcome back to the channel. Grab your coffee. This one is a ride. Alright, so to understand why SpaceX is worth what it's worth now, we gotta rewind. Back to 2008. Because in 2008, this company was, how do I put this nicely, completely cooked. They'd launched 3 rockets. All 3 of them blew up. According to Ashlee Vance's biography of Elon Musk, the company was burning through cash, and after that 3rd failure, payroll was about to bounce. Like, real bounce. And Elon had also just shoveled most of his PayPal money into Tesla, which, by the way, was also about to die. 2 companies, both about to go bankrupt. Same week. You can't make this up. Musk later said, quote, "I could pick one or split the money between them." But splitting was the recipe for both dying. Think about that for a second. You've got 1 bullet left in the gun, and you have to choose which kid to save. September 28, 2008. 4th Falcon 1 launches. And this time, it actually works. First privately built liquid fuel rocket to ever reach orbit. 3 months later, NASA hands SpaceX a $1.6 billion contract to resupply the International Space Station. Lights stay on. Barely. And here's where the whole story flips. Because according to reporting by Bloomberg, that NASA contract didn't just save SpaceX, it set the template for the entire business model that is now worth $400 billion. Let me show you how. So here's the thing about rockets. For 60 years, we built them, used them once, and threw them away. Imagine if every time you flew from Seoul to Los Angeles, you scrapped the entire plane on arrival. That, mathematically, is how the space industry worked. Until SpaceX walked in and said, "What if, and hear me out, it didn't." December 2015. SpaceX lands a Falcon 9 booster upright on its tail in one piece. People genuinely thought this was impossible. Like NASA had tried something kinda similar back in the 90s and gave up. SpaceX pulled it off. On a barge, in the ocean, at night. Here's the number that actually matters. The Space Shuttle cost about $54,000 to put 1 kilogram into orbit. That's NASA's own number, by the way. Falcon 9, around $2,700. That's a 95% price cut. SpaceX didn't compete with the industry. It deleted the pricing of the industry. And it gets crazier. In 2024, SpaceX launched more mass to orbit than every other rocket company, every other country combined. According to BryceTech's annual report, they accounted for around 87% of all upmass globally. That's not market share. That's a monopoly with extra steps. But here's where people get confused. Right, launching rockets is cool. Launching rockets is expensive to do. So even if you're cheaper than everyone else, you're still mostly just doing government contracts. You're a fancy taxi company for satellites. So where does the $400 billion come from? Right. And this is where SpaceX stopped being a rocket company. Meet Starlink. Starlink is basically internet from space. About 7,000 satellites in low Earth orbit, beaming broadband down to a little pizza box dish you put on your roof. As of 2025, over 5 million subscribers in more than 100 countries, according to Reuters reporting and SpaceX's own disclosures. Bloomberg estimates Starlink pulled in around $8 billion in revenue in 2024. And here's the punchline. SpaceX is the only company on Earth that can launch Starlink satellites cheaply enough to actually make this work. They're their own best customer, vertically integrated like nothing else in the industry. It's almost annoying how clean the business is. And in late 2023, the Wall Street Journal reported Starlink had finally turned cash flow positive. That changed everything, because now this wasn't a science project anymore. It was a real business, with real recurring revenue growing fast. Okay, so now we can finally answer the original question. $400 billion. Why? In late 2024, according to reporting from Bloomberg, CNBC, the Financial Times, SpaceX ran what's called a tender offer. Basically an internal stock sale that lets employees cash out some shares. That sale priced the company at $350 billion. By mid-2025, secondary trading was pushing it past $400. For context, Boeing's market cap is around $150 billion. Lockheed Martin, around $110. SpaceX is worth more than both of them combined, doing what they do, but better. Investors aren't paying for today's SpaceX, they're paying for 3 bets. Bet number 1, launch is now a permanent utility, like Oz, but for space. Bet number 2, Starlink becomes a global telecom giant. Morgan Stanley analysts have floated valuations of over $100 billion for Starlink alone, if it ever spins out. And bet number 3, and this is the wild one, Starship. Starship is the biggest rocket ever built. 120 meters tall, fully reusable, booster and upper stage. Target cost to orbit, under $200 per kilogram. If that hits, you're looking at roughly 100 times cheaper than the Space Shuttle. According to SpaceX's own projections, which, fair warning, are aspirational. And if Starship actually works, and that's a real if, it unlocks stuff that doesn't even have a market yet. Asteroid mining, space-based manufacturing, actual permanent bases on the Moon and Mars. NASA's already paying SpaceX nearly $4 billion to use Starship as the lunar lander for the Artemis program. Now I gotta be honest with you here. There's a real downside case. Starship is still blowing up sometimes. Starlink has competitors lining up. Amazon's Project Kuiper is starting to launch. China's spinning up its own mega constellation. And SpaceX's valuation at $400 billion is basically priced for everything going right. If Starship slips 3 more years, that number starts to look very shaky. But here's what investors are really betting on: pattern recognition. In 1997, Amazon was a money-losing online bookstore. People made fun of the valuation. Then Amazon Web Services launched in 2006, and it turned out the real business wasn't books at all. It was the boring, invisible infrastructure underneath. The picks and shovels of the entire internet. SpaceX might be the same trade 20 years later. Forget the rockets. Forget Mars. The real money is in being the Oz of space. The infrastructure layer for everything humanity does up there for the next 50 years. Communications, defense, navigation, manufacturing, eventually energy. If that's what space becomes, $400 billion is going to look cheap. So back to the original mystery. How is a private rocket company worth more than Coca-Cola? Because investors aren't pricing what SpaceX is. They're pricing what it could be. A $1 trillion utility parked in low Earth orbit that nobody else on Earth can build. Will it actually work out? I don't know. Nobody does. But for the first time in human history, the answer isn't never. It's maybe soon, and that is worth a lot of money. If you enjoyed this one, see you on the quiet side.